And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of the Showtime and Kev podcast. I'm Cory Showtime.
I'm Kevin Munroe.
And we are live from the Comedy Pop-Up Studios in scenic K-Town, Los Angeles. But we can't get started until Kevin gives his island intro. So, Kevin, start us up with your island intro, please.
In the name of the one called Emperor Selassie, I conquer the tribe of Judah, King of Kings on Santa Cruz Reggae Music Festival with the Ross Clatter. Go on up in this beat, Lord of mercy. Brukashak, boom, boom, boom. Book, yaga yow, nothing's are going.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Please disregard the fact that I'm looking at my phone being very rude right now. I'm trying to make sure everything's up and running.
Yeah, okay. We just gotta do this on the fly.
Yeah,
man, it's been like 2 weeks, right?
It kind of has been. Yeah, we've had a roller coaster of emotions the last time we've been on.
We've laughed,
been
we've
on
cried.
Stage. Yes,
we've been through fire, we've been through rain.
Yeah.
It's been so painful, man. I mean, some of this, like, you ever this thing like after a game, after the game is ended, you don't even like want to hear the highlights.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear nothing.
No, we watched the whole thing. We're both Niners fans and both from the Bay Area and both very, very dejected after last Sunday's events. The 49ers played 57 great minutes of football, and in the last 3 minutes is something that I want to pretend didn't happen.
Yeah, they suddenly forgot that the running back is a position in football.
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing you can do.
And Jimmy G, the G stands for giveaway, because goddamn.
Giveaway for real, though.
I wanted to believe Jimmy G was that dude, and I came up with different nicknames for him. Paul, you probably appreciate this. I called Jimmy G Ryan Tannerhill. Because he's like Ryan Tannehill, just Tanner, just painfully mediocre and Caucasian.
Right.
But
I told you all you shouldn't have given him the bag.
Yeah.
They gave him $137 million after seeing him play like 6 full games.
Well,
like, who does that?
But he also did play like I don't know how much of this is his fault versus like the defense and the running game, but he has won like most of his games except for fucking the last one.
Yeah, but it's not like winning like convincing like, oh, Patrick Mahomes, he's putting the team on his back.
Yeah,
like,
why'd you have to go with him of all quarterbacks? You could have said Aaron Rodgers, you could have said Tom Brady, you could have said you could have said fucking who's the dude in the Chargers, the other guy in LA?
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers, the old bolo tie.
Yeah. But because, man, what are you in pain? He's just lashing out. That's how it is. I'm just lashing out right now.
I stopped calling him Ryan Tannehill because Ryan Tannehill actually did his job over the playoffs. So I called him Jimmy Tebow from now on. That's what he's until he can actually win us a Super Bowl, which is what you pay hundreds of millions of dollars for your quarterback to do. Then he's Jimmy Tebow because I lost all faith because it doesn't matter how good you were doing. That is the epitome of we need you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. When the Super Bowl is on the line and you're winning, you're winning the game. All you got to do is keep winning.
Manage the game. This is management time.
I almost
hand the ball off.
Colin Kaepernick wouldn't have lost that game. He would have got some rush yards.
See, that's one of my notes I put in here. I was like, if only the 49ers had a mobile QB with playoff experience that was cool in the clutch. If only we could find that dude.
Are you trying to make me cry? Are you really? I'm a grown ass man. You trying to make me cry right here on this red, red tablecloth?
We just wringing it out right now. We just wringing it all out.
I'm gonna spill tears into this IPA. This is fucking ridiculous.
Cap's at home like, ha ha.
Yeah.
Nelson laugh.
Yeah, because he would have been the perfect quarterback for that game.
It's like fourth quarter drill. We have 10 points. No problem, dude. I'll run the ball myself. I'll hand it off. I'll bleed the clock. This joker is throwing jump balls like it's a Harlem Globetrotters. Like,
you know what's the crazy thing about Colin Kaepernick? I was one of the few people that was able to sit back and watch and had to stomach that last season he played in San Francisco when they went 2-14. Most of that season was not his fault. I've never seen so many drops in my life. Like that whole year, like he still threw over 60%, but like he was hitting cats in the hands and they was dropping them. And you can say he's throwing the ball too hard, but that's like, what the fuck is that? That's like saying a boxer that throws too many punches. Like, what the fuck is that?
Wait, you're doing your job too well?
Is that like the ball got there too quickly? Is that what it hit you in the hands? Well, you're a receiver. Like, it's not an excuse, you know?
You're doing your job too much. Like,
yeah, it's frustrating. It's absolutely frustrating. The 49ers lost, and there's nothing we can do about it.
But for real, dude, I was so dejected. I literally started watching the XFL.
Wow.
Yeah. I started watching the XFL.
How is the XFL? I haven't...
I mean,
do they use a ball? I'm not sure how it works. Like,
that's a legit question. Do they actually use a ball? I thought they might not. They might have like squirrels or
this
cheerleaders.
is Vince McMahon we're talking about here. We don't know.
Yeah, there might be.
That's a legitimate question.
There might be dudes that hitting each other with chairs. You don't know like what he's
No, that's
do
gonna
now.
happen. That's
Yeah.
absolute.
Yeah,
That's how you start this. That's how you start the game. Like
Yeah.
the guy gets hit with a chair. Whoever falls gets the ball.
Right. It could have been that kind of carnival. But I mean, it's kind of like watching the game. It's kind of like when you wanted them Nikes and your mom took you to got you them Pro Wings.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
I mean, it kind of looks like Nikes.
It's when you want Jordans, but your mom takes you to Payless, and you get the Spider-Mans and the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not made of leather. It's made of that like plastic shit that like cracks after
pleather?
like 2 weeks. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's like that. And the
So
commentators,
they're the GoBots, basically. You wanted the Transformers, and they gave you the GoBots.
They gave you the GoBots. Exactly. It only got like one position. It doesn't really it doesn't turn into a car really, or the way it turns it from a car to a robot is you just stand it up.
Yeah.
It's a car with a robot printed on the underside.
For those of you under 35 that weren't lucky enough to be children in the 80s, the GoBots were the classic knockoff. They even had a cartoon. But they were so just ass in comparison. There wasn't a bad toy. Like,
right.
if you didn't have toys and you got a GoBot, you're happy as shit.
Yeah, you had something. Right,
yeah, you got to play with it. Like, hey, this rolling car flips up and becomes a man. I can walk around. It's awesome.
Right.
But when you see a Transformer, you look at your parents like, the fuck are you doing?
Y'all went hella cheap on us on this.
Like, it's only $3 more. I'll go earn the $3. I'm 5, but I'll figure out a way.
Right. Paper out or something. I mean, because a Transformer, it folds from a car into a robot. Like, there's actual machinery mechanisms.
Sometimes they even have weapons and stuff in there.
Right. The GoBot is basically a picture of a robot printed on the underside of a car. And they just stand the car up, and it's a robot now. Like,
okay, so to reiterate, the XFL is just a picture of an NFL team that you stand up.
Yeah, exactly. And the commentators, they're so bold. They're like calling the names of the teams out without telling what city it is. Like, oh, the Rough Riders are just beating the Generals right now. I'm like, who the fuck are they?
Where is the Riverside Rough Riders? How does this work?
It's like you gotta say the name of the city and the team right now because nobody knows who you're talking about.
Yeah, this is brand new.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. And they're like, oh, well, the Rough Riders, this is a great start for them. Like,
are there any NFL players or ex-NFL players? Is that why it's the XFL? There used to be, they were in, and then now they're not.
No, they would be called NXFL. Never and XFL. Like, y'all never got drafted. Like, how many undrafted people in this thing, man?
Okay.
It's crazy. When I heard Rough Riders, I thought DMX. That's the first thing I thought.
What? Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry about that, Paul. I know you're probably going to have to cut that later.
Blew that out.
That hurt my ears.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, and that's the sad part, though. Like, every play, they're like, oh, this is why he's not in the NFL.
Yeah,
That
was the XFL's problem the last time around. It's like, if Vince McMahon actually made a league of wrestlers, that would be so much more entertaining. Like, you're just getting shitty football. And no offense, like, these guys are much better than I am. I'm terrible at all sports. So I'm not going to say they don't deserve to be playing somewhere. But compared to the NFL, they're shitty players.
Right.
So you might as well just get steroided up massive guys that are 300 pounds of muscles and have Edge throwing to fucking Goldberg.
Yep.
You know, and that just shows how old I am. I'm pretty sure both of those guys don't wrestle anymore.
Yeah, that's the late 90s.
Yeah.
No, but, I mean, like, one play, like, the quarterback decided to, like, take the ball, start running, and he crossed the first down, and these two linebackers came in and just crushed the dude. And they were like, why didn't he slide? like
we don't slide in the XFL. That's for NFL pussies.
And it's not because he's tough. He's just incompetent. Like, they're like, any quarterback should know once you get the first down, you slide. Like, they have to take him out.
I thought that was a rule. Like, they could still hit you anyway because it's the XFL.
No,
fuck CTE.
No, just the dude's an idiot. It's like, he separated his shoulder on that play. To come out the game. And we're like, yeah, this is why you slide after you cross the first down, you idiot. Like, this is how football is played.
How long do you think before ESPN just says, you know what, we're not airing any more of these?
I don't know. I mean,
because there's still advertising money. There's money to be made in airing these games.
Yeah, they're pretending like it's a real league.
Yeah. Like no, they're not pretending. It is a real league.
Like they're putting box scores and shit. Like,
yeah, no, there's no pretending. They're doing their due diligence. They are the sports leader, so they have to follow this shit as their law. If they have to broadcast WNBA games, they don't, but they do. Right. And if they have to, then they gotta do the XFL. You know,
like, okay, all right. So imagine if they don't, and then Fox blows up off of this.
ESPN would never be forgiven.
I don't think
Disney,
they're gonna blow up.
Mickey Mouse would kill the head of Disney in front of children if that happened.
Mickey's been around 100 years. He doesn't give a fuck. He's been through 2 wars. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
So the Seattle Dragons at the DC Defenders. I mean, and some of the names like the LA Extreme. Like, what is that? That sounds like knockoff candy, man. Like, what is that?
What was it the first time around though? Was it the LA Enforcers or something? Like I remember, like every team that the XFL so far has come up with sounds like those team names you can make in Madden.
Right.
Like the Rough Riders, the Wranglers, the Sheriffs, you know, like all those, the Sharks.
Or American Gladiators.
Yeah.
You know, the guys with the big Q-tips.
Yeah.
I think if you really want to have an intimidating LA team, call them the LAPD.
That's close.
Oh, shit, niggas, LAPD!
That's close to a bit that I used to do about how I wish sports teams reflected the city. Like
Right.
I swear to God, you would you would never get more support for any sports team ever than if you had a football team called the LA Riots.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That would change the game. The
Oh, yeah,
LA
yeah.
Riots, like people would show up in riot gear. Like
Right,
it's
right.
not too different from what it was like when the Raiders were actually playing here.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Just add a little bit, more people not in in Darth Vader costumes. Add a little more like common
Yeah,
flavor.
you just
to
said
it.
LAPD. They dress up the exact. That's riot gear. That's the other side of the riots. I had like a whole list. Like the most accurate team name ever was the Washington Bullets.
And they got mad. And they were like, this is misrepresenting our city. We need
No,
to change the
the
name. I was like,
fuck
no, it
it's
was not.
not.
Washington, D.C. in the 80s,
Oh,
dog?
chitty chitty bang bang. You know.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
But even if you weren't even talking about that, it's Washington D.C. That's the where I'm the
the capital.
yeah, exactly. That's where the commander in chief is. Who the commander in chief of what? The military. What's the military do? Chitty chitty bang bang. Bullets. It's still accurate.
This is sending the wrong message to the children. It's
And
like,
then-
nah.
and then you
we,
call-
we send the right message to the children. Protect your neck.
Yeah, and then you call on the Washington Wizards, and that's just a slap in the face to the black people in Washington. Like, oh, really? You just gonna just call it what it is? Just okay.
Yep. we just all clan up in here.
Why not the Grand Wizards? You know, the Alabama Clan would be an interesting team.
Would that be funny? Like they have like an all-white team and just be like, let's just go back, just take it back. Like let's just go there.
It's not too far away from what's actually happened. It'd be an all-white team with black players.
But I mean, if watching the XFL was, I was pretty depressed, and I watched it for like a half an hour.
You couldn't go through the whole game.
Nah, I mean, because it's like, and every story to tell about every player, it's like, and here's how we ended up here. Like, the shit sounded like prison stories. Like he was doing so well,
Yeah.
and then circumstances, and now we serve in 5 to 10.
You know what? You just explained Cardale Jones.
Cardale.
Yeah, I know.
Ohio
I remember,
State.
I just remembered that, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit, he's in the XFL."
It's the same thing. They all sound like the shit you tell teenagers
Cardale
this,
Jones
scared straight stories.
Cardale Jones should be on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers throwing interceptions like Jameis Winston right now, but no, he fucked his life up, and now he's in the XFL.
Right. I mean, he was on the
Are they
Chargers
gonna-
for a minute.
Are they going to let Maurice Claret out? He'd be great in this league.
Oh, Maurice is out now.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, he should
Maurice, please try out. Get your life back, man.
Have you seen Maurice's story?
Yes.
On Vlad TV.
Oh my, not on Vlad TV. I saw his 30 for 30, man. Bruh. Bruh, you talk about hustling backwards, bro. You already you go you're the Heisman Trophy winner. You're going to the league. You're getting 10 million. And you decide to this dude had those army guns. And
Yeah.
He was in some serious
I don't know what goes through.
some people ain't about that life. He was certainly about that life.
But what go through a dude's mind, thinking he could rob people, knowing he's famous? Like, nigga, is that you? Is you Maurice Claret? Can you sign my autograph before you rob me?
Yeah, it's like, oh my god. I'll tell you right now, sign that receipt right there, and I'll delete the tape. This is all. Hey, it's all insured, bro. I loved you in Ohio State. You beat Michigan.
Like how? What goes through a dude's mind? Think he just go around doing that, and people like, hey, 911, what's your emergency? Maurice Claret robbed me.
Hello. Because that's how the police reacted in Ohio. Like,
No,
when they pulled him over with the guns, they're like, Maurice, God damn it, this is gonna ruin my fucking fantasy team.
Exactly. Yeah. That T-shirt I bought is gonna be worth nothing now because I can't sell it.
Yeah, I wish you would have told me how to turn this body camera off, son of a bitch.
So other than Cardale Jones, there's a couple other characters in there who were like, well, this guy is like all WCC. You know, he was the best quarterback at Princeton, or he broke all the records at Old Dominion. You know, he was Southeastern Oklahoma State Community College best running back.
Like, the Navajos.
I'm like, man,
I would not be surprised if that was the name.
I mean, they were just like digging to the bottom of the bin, dog.
Got all those guys from that Key and Peele college football sketch. Like,
oh yeah, like
Barkevius Buckshank is on one of the teams. Hinkle McCringleberry.
Hinkle McCringleberry. If Hinkle McCringleberry showed up at XFL, I would not be surprised. They should just bring all of them dudes on, man.
And now coming into the game at tight end for the Rough Riders, Hinkle McCringleberry out of Ohio State.
That shit. But man, God bless them, man. Everybody got to make a living. I mean, it's just.
What are the different rules of the XFL? Before we change topics, I'm curious what the draw is, because like if you're not gonna have NFL talent and you're not gonna use your pool of wrestlers, what is the reason I'm watching this show aside from the fact that it's February and football's still on?
I think there's what do you call it on the kickoff, like the distance between when you can't start running until the ball like arrives. So like the gunners don't get to like smash into each other as quickly. So it makes the running the ball back a little bit less dangerous, and also they can get more yards. And I think there's also like for extra points, you can kick an extra field goal, or you can run for 2, and there's something that lets you get 3 points, and I don't remember what that was.
Interesting.
But you can do something for 3.
So there's 3 different ways to score after you score a touchdown. So touchdown still worth 6.
Yeah.
But I have the option to go for 1, go for 2, or go for 3.
Yeah, and I forgot how you go for 3.
I'm assuming that's like a 60-yard field goal. I don't know.
Something ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe like do a handstand or something. I mean, it still is.
You have to choke slam a member of the opposite team. It's the XFL. It's Vince McMahon. I would not be surprised if you clothesline somebody that was legal. Like, why isn't the entire 100 yards of the field roped off? Like, I want the ropes. I want people bouncing off the ropes when they're going out of bounds.
Let's use some chainsaws or something, man.
I want to see somebody tackle somebody off the top rope. I want to see that shit happen.
It should. And the worst part of it is the interviews are just as boring as the NFL interviews, which is stupid.
No, that doesn't make sense.
They're like, I'm just glad to play the game. And it's like, nah, man, you should be talking shit. Let me tell you something, brother. If you motherfuckers come over here, I got your mother, I got your father, I got your uncle, I got your daddy. I will come into your house. I will kill your cat. I will kill your dog. I mean,
DC Defenders, you're about to end up in a lot of pain.
For real, though. I was waiting for that.
When the Macho Madness comes at you, brother.
They didn't do any of that. I was so mad. I'm like,
if you smell.
I was so mad. I was waiting for them to really go off and do like, well, I'm just humble. I'm just glad to play. Man, shut the fuck
the
up, man.
Interviews were like lightweight. My favorite thing about wrestling. The Rock was the greatest of those. Shout out to Dwayne Johnson. Nah, you're always good. If I ever get to meet you, you're The Rock.
Right, exactly.
I'm coming up with the people's eyebrow. I don't care how corny it is.
I'm the wine sipping, limousine traveling, gator wearing.
Oh, Tom Brady?
Exactly.
How awesome would it be if Tom Brady really acted like Ric Flair?
That's what I'm saying.
I would fucking love. I wouldn't even be mad at him for voting for Trump if he did that.
XFL, if you're listening to this podcast, and I know you are, please let the sideline interviews be as great as Randy Savage, or the any of those guys. Invader number 1, Invader number 2, The Rock. Any of those things. Come on, guys. Come on.
We need an Undertaker. We need a Kane. We need a badass Billy Gunn. We need all of your WWE storylines in this football. We're guys. We're bored. It's Saturday. Come on, Vince.
Yeah. Well, otherwise, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise, we might as well be watching high school football.
It's still football. I'm still pretty sure there's something we can boycott about it. Just give me a reason to watch. Shit. All right. What's next, man?
All right. So, what else is going on? Oh. Yeah, good news. Rush Limbaugh is dying.
Yay! We're not supposed to be happy about that shit because when Kobe died, we all tried to. We were respectful, and a lot of people should have been more respectful. And Rush Limbaugh is still alive, so fuck that nigga. But but when he dies, I'm gonna give him a day. and then I'm back into ripping.
Nah. I'm not gonna give him.
You
a
gotta
day.
have respect for the actual death, and then you can move on. You know.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
But
like,
then we're just as bad as the other people.
no, we're not. Like, look, here's the thing. Like, you get judged based on what you do as a body of work, right?
Yeah.
So if you do if you're like Kobe, and your body work is spectacular. You do great things. You champion women's basketball. You're a great
Yes, he
dude.
was.
And you do a couple of shitty things like attempted rape and all this and cheat on your girl. All right.
I love how you just sugarcoated that. It's like you do a couple shitty things like attempted rape, and
No, I'm not sugarcoating. I mean, that shit was like, it blew him up.
No, I agree. I'm just
but I'm
like,
saying-
I like your move into it.
But I mean, his body of work, his intention was
yeah.
to do good things, and
Huge.
he did a
Yeah.
bunch of really fucked up things. Okay, fine.
Wasn't
A
even a
guy-
bunch, but they were pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so you do all this stuff and you murder somebody or something. Okay, that's terrible. You pay a price.
Yeah.
Right. But if your entire body of work is about being shitty to other people,
Yeah.
then fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
I have no patience for that.
And Rush Limbaugh's entire
His
body of work
entire body
is
of work.
just being shitty to people.
Yeah, this is the dude that said the NAACP should be like practicing liquor store robberies.
Yeah, and this is the dude that said that slavery should still be like this should still be. There was like no, he said there's positive points to slavery. I'm not saying it should be back, but the streets were definitely safer. Fuck you.
Exactly, and that's his job. Like, he day in, day out. It wasn't like he was saying positive shit and then every once in a while he'd slip in some garbage like that. That was his day job.
I saw a great joke on online the other day, and shout out to Mike Fellows for coming up with it. He said that Rush Limbaugh probably hates his lungs now that they're black. I was like, yo.
You win, fella.
Yes.
You win.
Mike
you win.
Fellows, MVP right there. bro.
You win. Yeah, you win. I got that. That's the greatest right there.
That shit was hilarious.
I
But
mean-
it's also, what's more fucked up is like, if you needed any more ammo, any more information that Trump and his whole administration is just as fucked up as it could possibly be, he decides to give Rush, racist ass Limbaugh, the Medal of Freedom.
Yeah, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Yeah, that's a real problem. Okay, let me list.
Rosa Parks,
let-
Martin Luther King,
Yeah, let me list a couple
Rush
of these
fucking
people.
Limbaugh.
Mother Teresa, Rosa Parks, Alvin Ailey, Norman Rockwell, Sidney Poitier, Maya Angelou, Toni Morrison, Placido Domingo, Count Basie, Frank Sinatra, Aretha Franklin, Ella Fitzgerald.
And Rush Limbaugh.
Are you? I'm about to flip the table in this piece, man. Are you
Oh my
kidding
God.
me?
That's the biggest slap in the face. And the even bigger slap in the face, or the slap and then the stare to let you know that I slapped you, was the fact that he did it in front of a 100-year-old Tuskegee Airman. Who Trump pretty much just had up on that stage as a prop.
If I was to
It's like,
see
look,
him-
I found the black, and now we're going to give this guy the medal. Like, I fucking hate this. Like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, you can't watch that and be like, I mean, it doesn't stain the Medal of Freedom. I mean, all those people are named, like Norman Rockwell, all
It
those
kind of
people.
does, though.
Nah, it stains
It
him.
doesn't stain them, and plus they passed on. Most of them passed on by now, so like it doesn't stain their legacy, but it does stain the award when you look through the pile of people that have been given it, and it's all very like highly acclaimed people, and then this motherfucker.
No, so that's not on. It's not on the award. It's on him. I mean, it's kind of like when Killmonger sat on the throne. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean Wakanda is terrible. It just means that the motherfucker sitting there is terrible.
All right, well I'll give you one better. You know how like the NBA All-Star game's coming up, and Alex Caruso was this close to getting in?
Word?
Yeah, because just off of popular opinion,
The White Mamba? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. He was real close. Like he was like fourth among guards.
All
All
right.
right. If he'd have got into the All-Star game and then won All-Star MVP, it's gonna sully the All-Star MVP a little bit.
Okay, that's different. Okay, that's different. That's different.
Like you're gonna be like, oh, Michael Jordan, Kobe and Shaq, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Alex Caruso.
They're just giving this shit to anybody now. Like, yo, I mean,
Yeah, but it's the same thing. It's just, of course, I'm being glib and I'm like making it really simple. I'm really simplifying it. But yeah, it's a much more serious thing. And speaking of a more serious thing, we all kind of saw this coming, but it just kind of pisses me off to see that, like, we're not even trying to pretend like we're a first world country. We're more in we're more going towards second and a half, second and three-quarter country. Trump got acquitted for all the shit that he's done that we all know. Like it's like I'm never.
well, hang on.
What level of white privilege do you get to where you get to vote on whether or not you get to have evidence and witnesses in your fucking trial?
Okay, hold on.
You know how many of my cousins would want that?
Your Honor, we can't have this witness because I don't like that nigga.
Yeah, and I don't want any evidence because it would hurt my case. So,
Can we not have
yeah,
that part?
let's just ban all the evidence in this
But
case.
pump the brakes. What are you talking about third world? I'm from a third world country, and we are better than this.
I agree.
We don't do this. This is on y'all, man. Don't look at me. Oh, we're becoming just like a third world country. No, you're not.
I'm not trying to say that from my high horse. I'm just saying, like, as an American.
You don't have a horse right now.
Thank you, motherfucker. Let me get it out. I'm saying, as an American, when we think of ourselves as this one thing, but when you look around, and you're like, I really feel like if you're gonna say America's the greatest country in the world, it's still fucking awesome. I want to live here. I love the fact that I'm from here. But you need to leave this country to know what the fuck you're talking about, because most of the time you don't know. You really don't. Go see some other shit.
Yeah. I mean, this is poor by anyone's definition. I mean, you guys are like one step away from Idi Amin, basically, like Uganda in the 1960s.
Well,
I mean,
to Idi Amin's credit, he could box. Trump has never fought anyone in his life. He don't do none of his dirty work. He don't get his hands dirty. That's the most insulting part of this, is that the toughest son of a bitch that we have is the weakest dude there could be.
Right. I mean, he's never laid hands on anybody
Ever. No male. He's never put hands on a male.
Touche. Man, I mean, they just gave up, man. They were like, and they laid it out. Like, a couple of people in the know were saying that most of these people are like, oh, look, like 10% of us really believe in a dude. They're like the MAGA hat wearing, 50% of us are just like playing a game. Like, it's kind of like when the substitute teacher is running the classroom, you feel like I could get away with anything. Yeah. So they're like, yeah, we won't try to get this, we won't get this, because he's an idiot. He's not gonna stop us.
Yeah.
And the remaining group, scared.
Yeah.
Just terrified, because every time they do anything that goes against this dude, like their Twitter feed gets blown up, like they get like their Facebook shit gets blown up, their phones get blown up, they get death threats. I mean, so this is. It's kind of becoming more like Colombia, I would say.
It's funny you say Colombia. I've been watching a bunch of Jack Ryan because I don't have cable. That's a long story, but I've been watching Jack Ryan. It's this show on Amazon about like a spy, CIA type deal. And I'm realizing we're turning into we're becoming a lot like the countries we destabilize.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, it's happening to, like, what Russia did to us is what we've been doing to, like, different South American and Middle Eastern countries since, like, I honestly can't say for how far back.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, if your elected officials are terrified of a mob, and the country's really being run by a mafia, it's Colombia. It's El Salvador. Yeah. I mean, it's that's what it is. I mean, there's less like physical heads on being hung from freeways, but it's the same sort of thing is happening where nobody feels safe to vote their conscience, except Mitt Romney, who, by the way, I get it now. Mormon Jesus is stronger than evangelical Jesus.
Wow.
Shout out to Mormon Jesus.
Who would have thought Mitt Romney would be the voice of reason amongst that whole party of all people? I mean, I'm not saying like he's like, I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to give Mitt Romney any praise because I definitely voted against that motherfucker. But like,
I'll give him his props, man. I mean, when the time came, like he was like, nah, I'm Mormon, and I pull out the shields of
he got on his real Tebow. It was like, I can't sit back and be cool with this.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta give him
props for that. We give him the tiniest bit of props for doing his fucking job.
Hey, that's
but nobody else is. So, like, yeah, thanks, Mitt Romney. This is fucking weird.
You think like he talks to Obama like, hey, look, man.
No,
they don't kick it like that.
Not at all.
Why wouldn't they though? I mean, they went through a whole campaign together.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Mitt Romney isn't allowed to speak to anyone that looks like Trump and still keep a lot of his benefits. Not Trump, sorry. Obama, yeah.
No, well, they gave up that racist shit in the 70s, man. Come on. I mean, in 1973, they declared that, that non-white people also can go to heaven. Like, that was, they did that. Give them props, man.
Yeah, okay,
give them props. Like they saw the error of their ways. I guess maybe somebody liked the Jackson 5. And they're like, how could this heavenly boy not be among us?
Yeah, and then with their magic full body underwear decided that black people are people now. Awesome. Yeah, moving on.
But you know what's funny? It's like Jehovah's Witness and Mormons are like equally weird as cults.
Oh yeah.
Because like the Jehovah's Witness, like they want you to read their Bible, and it's not a real Bible. Like they just wrote that shit. Like it's not even like it's not even close.
Kevin, I got some news for you. All Bibles are like that.
No, but this,
Like
I mean,
even the one that's like 4,000 years old was just some motherfucker wrote it.
yeah, I know. I get that too. But these dudes, at least they try to pretend that it's like some mainstream thing.
Yeah.
And it's just not. They just wrote some shit. Like,
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of being atheist. Like, I see all religion as the exact same. If you're Muslim, you're crazy. If you're Christian, you're crazy. If you're Mormon, you're crazy. If you're Scientologist, I'll give you an edge. You're a little bit crazy than the other three I just named, because at least they have a lot of history and bad blood to be reasonably like crazy about. You just kind of made this shit up.
well, I don't talk about Scientology because we're here in Hollywood, and the Scientology spaceship is like 5 blocks up the street.
Hey,
So-
either I'm not gonna make it, or they're gonna take me as part of their cult, and I am gonna make it. So I stopped caring a long time ago. That's what I've learned about 2020. Like, I've been taking so many L's in just this first couple weeks of the year. I
Right.
don't give a shit anymore. Bring it on.
That's hey man, that's life, man. I understand that situation where you're just like, man, how many more blows can I take, man? It's round 7.
Yeah.
I'm just in the corner, and I'm just like,
Well,
okay.
I'm still in the fight. They ain't knocked me out yet.
Yeah, but you know,
I still got one good eye I can see you.
man,
I don't
so-
need all my teeth. I just need enough to chew. That's the mouthpiece is for.
exactly. We got a little
Come
sidetrack.
here, Mick. Yeah.
Throwing the damn towel. Okay, so we got a little sidetrack about the whole Russian ball thing. And
No, but we're talking about Trump's acquittal. I started to talk about that, and then we got all the way down the line of we were talking about Mitt Romney. That's how we got.
Oh,
sidetracked.
sorry. Okay. So the thing about the whole Trump acquittal is like the people, they asked Lamar Alexander, they asked Susan Collins, you know, is this okay? And they're like, well, he went through an impeachment, and I think he's learned his lesson.
Why is it this dude gets to do the most egregious shit we've ever seen? Like, the dude has 27 sexual assault cases up and running, or something to that, some number of that.
Right.
He's got Lord knows how many embezzlement and wrongful termination and discrimination and housing, all these different cases pending as a civilian. All this shit that's happened as he's been president. He's been so guilty, his lawyers went to jail.
That's true.
And they still keep saying, you know what? He's been through enough. He's suffered. Fuck this motherfucker. I want someone to actually I want some actual punishment to happen to this guy. He's never had any punishment whatsoever. He's never had to even say sorry for the shit that he's been proven wrong for.
Yeah, even Chris Brown had to say sorry.
Yeah.
And you know, Chris Brown's as close.
Chris Brown
to,
had to put out a sorry song.
Yeah, with Rick Ross and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was tight. But I wonder if Rihanna's at home like sorry. Maybe not.
No, she's just spending all her money and living her best life. You go, girl.
But I mean, okay. So my explanation for all this is this: you know the saying, when you owe the bank $10, you're in trouble. But when you owe the bank $10 million, the bank is in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's Trump's entire life. He's borrowed so much money from so many people. He's so wound in. Like, if he collapses, a bunch of shit collapses.
Yeah.
I mean, Deutsche Bank, like, dudes are literally committing suicide at Deutsche Bank rather than giving up his tax records because they have to explain how they lent this man money knowing that he was dead ass broke.
And this is part of the bigger problem. Like, I was pissed at Obama for letting all that financial shit slide and letting all those bankers and the people in the mortgage industry just, you know, oh, no harm, no foul, just pay it back.
Right.
You know, that shit pissed me off. But now this is a symptom of the bigger problem because this dude has been juiced in like that for 50, 60 years,
Right.
doing the exact same corruption. And if you think he's not pardoning the banks and hooking them up on the back end to cover all the shit that he owes them, you're crazy.
Yeah, nah, he's padding them up. I mean, like,
Here's the thing: Trump is an idiot, but he's an idiot that he wants you to see. Like, he's smarter than we're all giving him credit for. Because all the shit that's happening in the background, that stuff he's been doing. Like, he acts like this because we eat it up, because it's distracting, because it's a flashbang. While you're so busy focused on that, he's running right behind you doing all the shit he needs to keep going. Because there's got to be a reason he skates every time. There's got to be a reason all those politicians don't want to do shit to him, because they know what side the bread is buttered on.
Yeah, I mean, look, he went around just before the impeachment trial in Senate, and gave money to senators and said, "I will support your reelection campaign."
Blatantly though, like
So imagine if you were in on a trial for murder and you just walked up to the jury booth and just started handing out stacks of 20s.
Yeah.
That's what he did. He's like, "Yo, man, hey, what you need, man?"
But
Hey.
if I did that, Kevin, the bailiff would handcuff me and start hitting me over the head with the stick. But since Trump does it, it's okay. And that's my question. Like, why is it he's the first person? Like, this has always been happening. This has always been happening, but it was behind closed doors. It was covert. It was like, those $100 handshakes or the briefcase. You set down the briefcase in the meeting and you just leave it there. And the other guy takes it.
He's in the courtroom literally handing out stacks to the jury. Like,
so
hey.
why is he get away with it? And then the next week, like, he does something. Everybody's like, yo, what the fuck? And then he gets away with it. And then the next week they make it a law so that nobody can get in trouble for what he just did.
Yeah, they just play the game, man.
Like, I just, like...
Maybe in your next life you'll come back as white.
Maybe I should just learn Spanish and move to Colombia, because that seems like a better deal. Like, I feel like Pablo, like, he almost bought the government of Colombia. I feel like they would have been better off than what's going on now here.
You came pretty close.
He was damn close.
Yeah, I mean, he was moving so much weight. I mean...
metric tons. Shipping containers of weight.
But, that was... Whenever I hear about these drug stories, I wonder, like, how much drugs are people consuming? Right? Because if you're moving, like, metric tons of cocaine, like, every week, like, how many motherfuckers are doing this shit?
I've seen a metric ton of cocaine go up at a Hollywood party once. What are you talking about?
Right.
I was sitting in the back smoking weed like, God damn, these niggas getting lit.
Yeah, which, by the way, that song I played in the beginning, Roxanne,
yeah.
we talks about, like, talking about that girl, all she likes is whole...
You don't have to turn up a red
No, not that version. Come on, man. I'm the old guy here. Come on. You're supposed to know this.
Sorry. But I just always think of Eddie Murphy.
But Roxanne, the song's like, all she likes is Whole Foods and cocaine. And I was like, if Whole Foods started selling coke, would that really change their clientele?
Excuse me, is this Colombian gluten-free? I'm gonna have to speak to your manager.
the worst like coke feeds like showing up there. Look,
I bought a couple ounces from you. I want to make sure this is cruelty-free. I want to make sure no one was tortured or killed to get this cocaine.
Like dealers would be like, "Cop and go, please."
Well, Becky, I hate to tell you this. Everyone was tortured and killed in order for you to get the cocaine. That's how this works. The fear makes it work better.
There's 50 people serving 10 years in prison because they brought this over in their buttholes. Okay, so please just stop.
The people that are making this are currently they have rifles pointed at them at this moment. Enjoy.
But for real though, I mean, like Whole Foods and cocaine. Okay, I can see that.
That sounds like Future's next album. Whole Foods and cocaine.
Future. I don't know what's going on with that guy, man.
Percocet. That's what's going on. Molly and Percocet is what's going on with Future. He says everything that's going on in his life. Just listen. He'll tell you.
I mean, there's a guy. You should buy a CVS, man. The amount of prescription shit he's talking about. He really should get an ad deal with CVS.
Now that you mention it, why don't more rappers that claim to be drug dealers have drug companies?
Yeah, I mean,
it seems like just an even switch. Like you got the money, fund like an illegal pharmaceutical thing, and then you can launder your money even better. I don't know.
Yeah, start a whole legal thing. I mean, this is what they,
Please tell me you did not just pull out a White Claw like substance.
Oh yeah, I'm trying all of the White Claw like substances.
Why?
Because
do
man,
you not like your pancreas? What are you doing, Kevin?
Because I am.
Kevin is holding up a can of Henry's. I have no idea what Henry's is. It's apparently a sparkling tonic water.
Sparkling malt beverage with natural flavors. Okay.
What are the natural flavors, Kevin? What is naturally sparkling and malted?
Arsenic. That's natural. That
is natural. It occurs naturally in nature. It's on the periodic table.
Yeah, I mean it's in nature. I mean, but technically everything's in nature. I mean, nuclear fallout is a natural substance.
It is in nature. Yes.
Yeah, when you split an atom, through. But look,
yeah, because I do that all the time.
But I'm fascinated by these terrible drinks. Just like in the '90s when Zima and things like that came out, I was fascinated by them because I was like, this is objectively terrible.
Somebody has to buy these.
Right, and I was also fascinated by the marketing because like. the chemical composition of Zima, malt liquor, is the same chemical composition as Old English 800, but the way that advertised Zima to the white high schoolers essentially versus Old E, which is like I called it the Gatorade of street combat, where they put it out there. And
That was one of my favorite jokes you ever had. Is it in you?
Is it, I mean, what's up? So I was fascinated by how they have the same stuff but marketed in different ways. So, like, if you're a white college kid or high school kid drinking Zima, oh, it's just a party. If you're a black kid drinking Colt 45, oh, you a thug. You about to do some dirt, which you probably were. But I mean,
yeah, like you were like, yeah, you probably, if you're a black high school kid drinking a Colt 45, odds are you were up to some bullshit.
Yeah. You were living some kind of life.
I hate that you're right, but yeah, that's definitely what was happening.
You were
and
not.
If you had a St. Ides, you was definitely.
Oh. If you were St. Ides, you definitely had a Draco in
If
your
it
back
was
pocket.
1995, you're 15 years old, and you had a St. Ides, you probably had on a Los Angeles Kings hat and a gun in your waistband.
Yep. Got some baggy Jabot jeans, some Elise or Le Coq Sportif jackets on. Le Coq Sportif.
And I'm not disrespecting anybody's hood out there. Please don't at me, don't shoot me. I'm fat, I can't run fast. Just please, if you're gonna shoot me, stronger than 9mm. I want it to be over quick.
Right. By the way, that's my little side thing. I really love Postmates. But I do want to say to anyone who does Postmates, they have this feature now where as you're approaching the apartment, you can like text, right? They anonymize your phone number, so it's but they'll text you, be like, hey, I'm just about to show up, I'm about to be there. Postmates guys, if you're about to show up at my apartment, don't text, I'm about to pull up. Because I think you've been trying to fight me.
Yeah, because it's some random 510 number. I'm like, oh shit, what did I do?
I'm about to pull up. I'm like, what? What do you mean about to pull up? What happened?
And this actually is a very nice segue into our next topic, because if you're a black man in America and you survived the 90s, and you have absolutely, positively no fear of the coronavirus, because you understand that there are forces at play in this country that are much more dangerous to you right now here at home than any airborne illness that's coming from China.
Yeah, that's true. And only 800 people died worldwide for this thing.
Which is not even like, that's nothing compared to like, China probably loses more people per day from the common cold than that 800.
Yeah, working at an Apple factory.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, this
and if you lose 800 people in a day in China, like, sad to say, that's actually a good thing. There's 2 billion people over there. They need the room.
Like, is he still wearing those pants? Give me that. Take his pants. I'm sorry. That's probably not. They're probably very respectful of it.
I was about to say something even more racist, so I'll just keep it to myself. But anyway, it's a laughable thing.
By the way, the coronavirus is from the Wuhan province, which is really killing me because I was driving over here going.
Wuhan ain't nothing to fuck with.
Exactly. Wuhan coronavirus, nothing to fuck with. Wuhan coronavirus, nothing to fuck with. Wuhan coronavirus, nothing to fuck with. Wuhan coronavirus, nothing to fuck with.
I apologize for Kevin for that just now. All my fellow black people, I did not authorize that shit that just happened. Wu-Tang, please don't hurt us. That made me sad, Kevin. Don't ever do that shit again.
I mean, why put the Wu-Tang Clan out there? Put a public service announcement
out there. It's not the Wu-Tang Clan, bro.
Hi, we're the Wu-Tang Clan, and we'd like to let you know that the coronavirus from Wuhan from the Wuhan province is really important, that you should protect yourself, protect your neck.
Okay, that was funny. That was objectively funny. You're a fucking moron. You're the smartest moron I've ever run into. Anyway, the reason we even brought up the coronavirus.
That's very accurate, actually.
800 people have died worldwide. There is a lot of people that are afraid. I'm seeing a lot of people wearing masks. Like Chinese people, Asian people tend to have masks on in general, just for, I'm not even trying to say anything. Like, you just notice that happening. So, like, it is what it is, but, like, you're not going to scare black people with the coronavirus for the simple fact that, one, is it just me, or does it seem like there's like a deadly outbreak in China every year?
Yeah, I mean,
It's not very deadly, but they always pump it up to be like, this is going to end the world. This is the next T virus. You're all going to be walking around eating each other's faces and shit. And then it's just like, yeah, you get the cold. And then you move on.
Yeah, it's done. Like SARS, remember SARS when that showed up? Everyone was thinking like SARS was gonna like blow up the world.
Yeah,
I mean,
1,000 people died, and then that disease died off the face of the fucking planet.
Yeah, I mean,
bird flu, same thing. Swine flu, same thing. Coronavirus is the same thing.
Yeah, well, what happens is people don't understand it's an arms race. So the viruses like mutate and turn into things that our immune systems can't handle. And then our immune systems mutate and go, oh yeah, motherfucker, how about this? Boom, boom, boom. And it goes away. Yeah. I mean, the problem is when you come up with something that's so odd that the immune systems can't adapt to it fast enough. And that's when you get like the plagues, like the 1600s, you know, and we haven't seen anything like that because we know how to quarantine, we know how to study the viruses, you know, we don't let it spread. Yeah. So even if something breaks out, I mean, even Ebola, I mean, that's, you know, contained now.
I always say there's a lot of truth in fiction because they accidentally tell the truth a lot of times when they're making up a story. And I remember I was watching this movie, like it was a virus movie, it had Matt Damon in it. It came out a couple years ago. Okay. And he was married to Gwyneth Paltrow in that movie, and she had to go to China for business, and she ended up getting sick and dying from something like that. And the funny thing was that this whole, like, at the end of the movie, they traced it all the way back to, like, a bat taking a shit in, like, over a pig pen, and the pig ate the shit, and then they had this whole thing. And I was like, that's pretty close to what's happening right now, right?
Yeah. I mean, they trace it back to some this Wuhan is a city in I forgot the name of the province, but they had the community pot where like 19 people showed up and put their food into this boiling broth and this shit. 19 people. So your mama, your cousin, your neighbor, everybody throw their ingredients in the pot. And I don't know about you, but I mean, past like 7 people, I don't trust. Like, all right, wait, what you put in the pot though? What you put in the pot? Let me see that.
We don't eat each other's potato salad and shit like that. Like we're skeptical about like who made the potato salad. I don't eat everybody potato salad. Right. There's no way this is gonna get all the way to our community.
Right. We don't play it like that. You don't have 19 people throw their own ingredients. Like, okay, what's that? Is that chicken? Is that a bat? Is you throwing a bat in the yo?
There's a bat in the gumbo, bro. you can't put the bat in the gumbo, nigga. We ain't eating the bat. No.
Yeah, exactly. Like you be just going through the broth, you just shrimp. You know, you got little pieces of chicken, whatever. Then you pull out a bat wing. You're like, all right, okay, look, who put the bat in the broth?
And here's the thing: I'm fat. I'm all about like some things are food, some aren't, and I'm all about going to different cultures and trying different people's food. You know what I mean? I like if anything, I like having different flavors in my lexicon just so I know, okay, I'm never fucking with this again, or this didn't kill me, etc. and so forth.
Right?
I have absolutely, positively, 100% no interest in eating bats. Like why? Like that's like I can almost like as crazy as Americans are with their pets, I can see eating dog. Like if you're in China or someplace where like there's so many people, food is food. You know? Right. So like if I ate something, I wouldn't be that mad at it, especially in their culture. If I'm here, what the fuck you feed me dog for? But if I'm over there, like whatever, try it out.
Yeah, I mean necessity changes.
Tastes like chicken. I'm sorry.
Yeah, necessity changes things. Like if
but I'm never gonna think of a situation where I need to eat a bat.
No,
like that's the only source of sustenance.
Right. But and the thing is, the dude that probably brought the bat is one of them dudes that is bringing the least to the plate and try to take the most. So he's gonna bring a bat wing, throw it in there, and then eat a shrimp. Like that's the thing that pisses me off about this.
That's like your homie that just brings soda and paper plates to the barbecue and comes back with like 3 take-homes
with ribs. Like yo, how? Like I knew you threw your piece in, but come on, man.
You got 2 things in the 99-cent store, and now you're trying to leave with the whole cookout.
Exactly. It's like you came here with a bat and you leaving with ribs. Come on, dog.
Do bats even have ribs? Like, I'm assuming. Like, I'm just wondering what part of the bat do you even fucking eat?
I don't know.
I'm assuming the wing. Ugh.
The dude that brought the coronavirus bat to the party. They need to find that dude.
I'm pretty sure they did. I'm pretty sure they dug him up and they're doing tests on him right now.
Well, if he's alive, he's not invited.
He's not alive. He's been eating bats. That motherfucker's dead.
Yeah, I suppose if you're at that point where you're eating bats, then yeah, you got problems.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure you could get away with eating dog, cat, and a lot of different weird animals and shit. But like once you get to bats, like you have officially gone too far, bro. Like what nutrients are like what are you trying to get? What protein is on this fucking animal? I'd rather eat insects, and I have. in Texas. Yeah.
Ugh.
Crickets taste like, here's the weird thing. Crickets actually taste like sunflower seeds.
Nah, bruh. Nah,
Yeah, yeah, I
nah.
know.
No insects. No.
And it's funny that I got the dude from Trinidad like, ugh.
What do you mean? What do you think we eat? I mean, we eat.
I don't know what y'all eat, but you said yourself you come from a third world country, so I'm assuming you've had a few poorer meals than I have. Right?
Well, we've had some exotic animals like armadillos. You gotta crack them.
There's armadillos in Trinidad?
Yeah, we got armadillos.
Interesting.
Monkey.
Monkey.
Yeah.
You trying to judge me, but you eat monkey.
Well, okay. All right. So I guess the problem is that species-wise, they're a little too close to they're a little too close on the tree.
Yeah, there's like, oh shit, he's got the same head.
Yeah, that's
That's creepy.
Yeah, you don't present.
That's real close to cannibalism, Kevin.
Okay, you eat the meat, but you don't present the hands because the opposable thumb thing gets really. Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
I know like certain cultures, monkey brains is like a delicacy. It's a dessert.
Right. You know, that's an Indiana Jones thing, man. That's what fucked up Americans. Americans think that South Americans eat monkey brains because of Indiana Jones.
I thought it was Indians, like from India.
No, wasn't that Indiana Jones movie where they ate monkey brains? Were they in South America?
I'm
or
pretty
India?
sure he was in India.
Okay, maybe it was
Or
India.
Sri Lanka or something like somewhere in Southeast Asia.
But yeah, people don't sit around eating brains like out of the animal.
Yeah,
It's
like
crazy.
they legit had the skull there and they're cracking that bitch open. So I was like,
Nah, we don't do that.
I'm pretty sure I've seen Anthony Bourdain eat monkey brains somewhere.
I have to like.
But then
go through
again, he didn't like. It must not have sat well with him because he's no longer with us.
But anyway, look, the point is, we're gonna be fine. There's some cruise ships that they stopped in Hong Kong that they quarantined some people because they were worried that it was gonna transfer. I'm like, dude, you're on a cruise ship. Okay, you're probably gonna get some shit regardless. I don't know why.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how is this any different than any other cruise ship?
Yeah, I've seen. There's been worse outbreaks on a cruise ship. I've heard stories where like the entire cruise got sick and they had to turn it around, or like. I heard one where the crew, like a lot of people on the cruise got sick because the septic tank stopped or whatever, like you couldn't use the toilets anymore.
Huh.
And then everybody got like infected.
Huh. Ugh. Yeah. Me never, man. I'm never going to one of those things. I mean, I'll go there. I'll wear a hazmat suit, man.
I like the idea of a cruise, but like the practice of it seems to not really work out that well. You know?
No, I mean,
I've heard a lot of horror stories about a cruise. I've heard more horror stories about cruises than I've heard good things. And me being a comedian, I'm trying to get booked on a cruise line, so you never know.
Oh, I would love to do a cruise ship.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'd love to just like bomb the first night and then get better.
Well, odds are you probably will. From what I've heard, they have a lot of rules on cruises, so
it's like half my material is gone. It's
yeah. It's like nothing non-Disney. You gotta have straight up Disney cartoon material.
Oh man, I got so many San Francisco stories I can tell, and it's like,
none of those are family appropriate.
The time I got robbed in the Fillmore district, or
which is standard. I mean, like you're not take solace in the fact you're not the only person that's happened to, Kevin.
Yeah.
I haven't, but like there's a lot of people that've been robbed in the Fillmore.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if you've been in San Francisco or Oakland and you haven't had your car broken into, they just don't like you.
Yeah, you got nothing.
Like you're not a cool person.
Or the time like the police interaction where like the police like pull a gun on me and they're like, get on the ground, all this shit, because I made a right turn at a stop sign on my bicycle.
On your bicycle?
On my bicycle. Like I was on my bike. I was like, yo, like because I saw them there.
Because you're a hardened criminal.
I made the right turn. They were at the stop sign. I just like, woof, and they were like, whoop, whoop, pull the car, get on the ground, all this shit. I'm like, yo, I'm on a bike. Like, what kind of gangster shit? Like, what? I mean,
and it's not like Kevin was riding on like a BMX or something. Like Kevin's a legit, like he has an expensive bike that you're like, oh, I want to ride this for my fitness.
Yeah, I have
like
special
shoes.
Yeah, bike shoes and everything. And I'm like, yo, what is this? Like, do we really got to go to the mat over like? Well, we saw you ride through that stop sign. I'm like, first of all, it's a stop sign, and everybody rides through stop signs on bikes. And second, I'm on a fucking bike, dog. Like, what do you think? What weight do you think I'm carrying? Like,
if you've never been to San Francisco, people on bikes legit think they have more rights than you if you're in a car.
That shit was wild, man. But anyway.
I'm sorry that happened to you, but that's just like this just goes to show what it's like. Like just being like black in America, you get a gun pulled on you making a right turn on a bike. on a bike.
Like, you got to go to the mat over that.
Yeah.
And then, like, San Francisco, it turns out they had all these problems with their police being part of a gang and, like, had to do all this racist shit. And it's like, yeah, of course, these motherfuckers live in Walnut Creek. They live in, like, way out in Richmond. Like, they don't live in the city, so they just come to work like, okay, time to tend to the animals. Like, that's their attitude.
That's a very...
So...
Yeah, that was very accurate.
Yeah, I mean, that's how they act. They're like, they come in there like, okay, I got to go in here and fight people in this zoo. Then I go back home to my white neighborhood.
Yeah.
So...
And
that's the most progressive city in America.
That lets you know what we're up against. People in like the right tends to think we're liberals just living their little utopia over here in San Francisco. I was like, nah, man, we got problems too. There's shit everywhere in San Francisco, and I mean that in the most literal sense of the word. Oh my God.
The Tenderloin. How I miss you.
No, it's not the Tenderloin. It's the whole goddamn city. I know what you're talking about, but it's spread. Like, it's the weirdest conundrum in San Francisco where you'll see people picking up shit behind their dogs while humans are shitting in the street.
Like, it's almost as if the dogs
a little more civilized,
being held to a higher standard. Like, you cannot leave your shit here, dog. This is not the city we live in.
Well, that's the thing, though. People pay way more attention and care way more about pets than they do human beings in San Francisco. Like, your dog has about 1.5 more rights than a homeless person.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, homeless dogs find homes. They'll find homes for them.
They'll have drives to help the homeless dog get a home.
If there's a homeless dog that's about to be put down just for space in the SPCA, they will have no, we can't do this. We can't let this man die. They will let a homeless dude freeze to death on fucking Market Street.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
there's no joke to that. That's just life. It's a sad fact.
Yeah, our priorities are weird. The same way you say we shouldn't eat dogs, it's the same way that, it's like we just make up rules about what we should do to various animals versus others. We can't eat those, we can eat those.
Yeah.
That needs a home, that doesn't need a home. Yeah. Like, it's random.
Really just think about the difference, like, a few thousand miles away. Like, we eat cows and chickens, like, by the literal hundreds of thousands of tons per day. But you cannot touch a cow in India.
Right.
Like, it's a sacred animal. Like, you can get
sacred tasty animal.
Yeah, it's delicious. So it's delicious in so many parts of his body, but that whole country does not fuck with that entire animal.
Man, are they missing out, man.
But it's just I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, Indians live a long damn time, don't they?
I don't have the exact statistics on me right now.
I feel like Asians in general have a longer life expectancy.
I don't know.
Depends on, then again. Yeah, per capita, maybe not, but like overall.
I don't know. I'd have to look through that. Because
there's a billion of them. No, there's 3 billion people in India and China. So.
Yeah, I think that's a
that's going to skew the metrics a bit.
I think that's a mistake.
Yeah.
I think there's too many people. But,
I agree, but, Thanos lost.
Okay. All right. Well, we got to wrap this up. So we covered a lot of stuff here. We talked about impeachment and acquittal. We talked about the 49ers.
We didn't talk about the NBA trade deadline at all,
though. Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't need to talk about it because nothing happened on your side.
No, and I'm happy with that. The Lakers really
y'all scared, man. You're like, oh, we won't touch anything.
No, it's not scared. It's just like, why fuck up what's working? Don't fix it till it's broke. We need shooters, but we don't need to trade anybody for a shooter. I'd love if Kuzma learned defense all of a sudden out of the blue. That'd be fantastic. But then again, I can't really tell him how to do his job because he doesn't come down to my podcast tell me how to do mine.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, on the Warriors side, we got Andrew Wiggins, and thank God got rid of D'Angelo Russell. I
mean, was he really holding y'all back so bad?
Well, I mean, it's a wrong position. Like, we don't need another shooting point guard. I mean,
we all knew that wasn't a fit.
Yeah, we have an excellent shooting point guard. We don't need another one. Now what we got is a 3 that can shoot. The dude averages 22 points a game. Right.
He does? Andrew Wiggins is one of those dudes I legit forgot all about.
Yeah, because, I mean, he's in Minnesota. They suck.
That happens. Yeah, Minnesota. There's a few cities in the NBA that are like witness protection. Like, you could be there and nobody would know.
Yeah. Minnesota, Cleveland,
Phoenix, kind of.
Yeah, Charlotte now.
Charlotte's always been witness protection. Charlotte is the deep. Who's on Charlotte?
I don't even know now.
Kemba Walker is on Boston. So who's on Charlotte?
I don't even know.
Exactly.
I don't know what's going on there.
There's 15 tall ass motherfuckers in Charlotte, and nobody knows why.
Right. I mean, like the only famous person in Charlotte is Michael Jordan.
Yeah, and he hasn't played in well over 20 years.
Yeah. So that's nothing going on there. But I mean, getting Wiggins is a great deal because I think he can kind of, if you squint your eyes, he can be kind of like a Kevin Durant kind of figure, like a third guy that can shoot and is tall and can play some defense. So okay,
not just a poor man's Kevin Durant, a blind man's Kevin
Durant. Yeah. A 75-year-old guy with cataracts.
Mr. Magoo, like, Kevin Durant, grow him some hair.
Yeah, and D'Lo can take his slow ass wherever he wants to go.
Well, you guys could use him because, like, you guys have been looking for a replacement for what you thought you were getting in Harrison Barnes for a while.
Yeah.
So I see that working out. I don't really see Wiggins working out the way you want him to, but like if he ends up being like a Rick Fox type of guy for y'all, then you're more.
Come on, man! Don't put him in the Rick Fox category. He's better than Rick Fox, dude. Come on.
No, he's not. Don't disrespect Rick Fox, champion.
Hey, I am disrespecting this for
and coveted actor.
I am disrespecting Rick Fox for the number one because he married Vanessa Williams. You motherfucker! That was supposed to be me.
Well, then you failed, Kevin. Don't be mad at him.
He just jumped the line, dude.
Yeah, he's a basketball player. They tend to jump.
So first of all, for marrying Vanessa Williams, and without asking me,
you're prefacing this with just your straight up envy.
I mean, this is hate.
Yeah.
This is hate. Like this is pure hate. But we can go look at the numbers.
Okay, well, I'm just comparing it to
Wiggins, 22 points a game average. I mean, 6th year in the league, he's good. He's just playing on a shitty team.
I was just comparing
motivation.
I was comparing him to those old Laker teams where you had like Rick Fox or Glenn Rice or just somebody that was good but not great playing three because you don't need a great guy. We got the two best there are.
Right, yeah, okay. So you can do that, okay, but not the same numbers.
That's what I was just trying to say. Give me a second. You get so fucking touchy.
Okay. Because of the Vanessa Williams thing, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I see. That pushed the button. Damn.
You unearthed some hurt feelings.
You really thought you had a chance. Like, what happened? Did she not call you back, Kevin? Like, damn. Like,
I don't know. It was the 90s, man. People didn't have cell phones. It's like, I check my voicemail machine. Shit never,
Yeah, I see that. Either way, I see that being a good trade for y'all. Either this works out for you or you trade Wiggins down the line. Either way, it can't hurt you. And D'Lo, you got a draft pick out of it. D'Lo gets to go be with his best friend in witness protection. So,
right.
So they can go put up whatever numbers nobody's going to give a shit about because no one's going to notice in Minnesota. Because even when Minnesota had Kevin Durant, Kevin Garnett, they couldn't get it done.
Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with that team.
I don't know. Like, there's one of those, like, Minnesota and those teams we named, like the purgatories in the NBA, you just know they're never going to win a title.
Right.
They could, but you know they're not.
Like Phoenix. I mean, they're just.
I used to feel the same way about Toronto, and then Kawhi changed all that.
Right.
And it was funny how it just happened to be at you guys' expense, but But yeah, I used to think that way about Toronto. I'm thinking the Knicks will never win another title because James Dolan owns the team.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you have incompetent assholes at the top, like shit will never change.
We're Niners fans. We know exactly what that.
I mean, it's the same thing with the Clippers. Like until they got rid of that dude, nobody give a shit about the Clippers because it's incompetence from the top, man.
The tippy.
Yeah, I mean, and Dallas Cowboy fans, I want you to take note.
Yeah, because it's not going to get any better.
I mean, as long as Jerry Jones is the owner and the general manager, forget it.
You might win some playoff games. You're not going to get another Super Bowl.
Nope.
You're just not. Because until Jerry gives over the reins to somebody to be a GM, it's not going to work. It's too much. It's too much work, honestly. You can't be the owner and the GM. That's why you hire a guy to do the job. Like, the GM's job is a full-time job. You want to do that and run everything else? Nah. Yeah, no. It hardly works when the coach is the GM.
Yeah, it's just ego, man. It's just ego.
I agree with you. But like, you gotta be smart enough to know, like, hey, even if I am good at this, I need to realize I'm either gonna own the team or I'm gonna do this job, but I can't do both.
What are you gonna tell a dude with $1 billion?
Exactly. That's the thing, and that's the funny thing about money in America. If you got enough money, can't nobody tell you shit because apparently, if you don't have it, you don't know anything.
Yeah, which it's just the two things are orthogonal. They are not related.
I don't have enough money to know what orthogonal means.
Oh, man.
I went to college and I'm like, ooh, that's a new one.
All right, y'all. Let's wrap this up, man.
Yep.
It's been fun to be back. What you got popping, man?
Let's see. I'm gonna be at the Dime, February 25th. It's gonna be up in Eureka at the Savage Henry Comedy Club, March 21st, I believe. Let me make sure of that. And other than that, watch $40 Till Friday on Amazon Prime Video.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
Kev, you got anything you want to plug, man?
Not yet. I have some things in the works. I'll put them up. I might be doing the Diablo soon.
Nice.
But good reminder about the Dime. I need to get back on that. I love the Dime. Dimes are really, if you're in LA, Fairfax and Santa Monica Boulevard, if you're somewhere around there.
Shout out to Adam Hunter.
Yeah,
Very funny comic.
Yeah,
runs the show.
It's a great show. Good people. So come check that out.
All right, y'all. This is another one for the books. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the fuck up off our Wi-Fi. Peace.
Later.